Hello, I'm back and it's been a while, YouTube, so I'm here to share a new series. This is the Breast Augmentation series, specifically for females or fit women or female athletes, maybe bodybuilders, crossfitters, etc. Do I have chocolate on my face? Anyways, I wanted to share a little bit about my experience with breast implants. First and foremost, yes, these are implants. And I wanted to share a little bit about why I first got implants and what the process was like for me, how I made my decisions, recovery time, etc. And then go into some details about why I'm having a second surgery done and some of the reasons that as a athlete or a female competitor, you might consider getting implants. So first and foremost, this is just my experience. Every woman is different. Every woman's body is different. And the way that a woman's body responds to something, a foreign object being placed in her body, different than another. So, and that was my air fryer. Food is coming, of course. But before I got into bodybuilding, I was always flat-chested. I grew up very petite. Even on both sides of my family, none of the females were really blessed with chests naturally. And I always kind of had this like feeling that as I got older, I wasn't really gonna fill out until after I had kids. But lo and behold, I started bodybuilding in 2015, and my first competition prep I started cutting down in February of 2015. By July, August, when I did my first show, I literally had like nothing. And I'll show you guys some pictures here. I was super flat, no boobs. It was like, felt like pepperonis on my chest. And to be honest, it made me extremely self-conscious. You know, being strong in the gym, getting muscles, feeling fit, toned. You want to look feminine, not just strong. And growing up, I had never really wanted implants. I was kind of against plastic surgery for a long time. But as I started to get more into the sport and wanted to feel a lot of self-confidence, that was the main reason that I decided I wanted to get implants. So I started to look at doctors and evaluate my options. Now, not every woman who competes gets implants. And even if you're doing a weight loss and you're going through body transformation, sometimes you still do remain intact that breast tissue. Every woman's different on her body composition, where she holds stores fat. For me, my upper body, as you can tell, like you can still see my clavicle pretty clearly. My arms are still pretty lean, even though I'm about 10 pounds over my stage weight. Most of the extra body fat is in my lower abdominal and my legs. Yay for booty. But some women naturally are able to hold more fat and breast tissue. I'm not one of them. So I decided that I wanted to have a fuller look, more balanced look, because I already have larger legs, as you guys know. And that's why I decided to look into implants a little bit more. One of my biggest reservations now, in retrospect, is I probably did not go large enough for the frame that I was trying to grow and have. Back 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2016, when I got them done, I was a lot smaller than I am now. My back wasn't as wide, my shoulders weren't as large, and so the illusion of your chest, it will change as your body, you grow it and sculpt it in a certain way that you want. So you need to keep that in mind also, is what is the look that you're trying to achieve? Do you want to look like a bikini Sports Illustrated beach model? Do you want to have more of a balanced physique where your implants look more natural, they aren't as in your face? Or do you want to have more of like that hourglass look where your bum and your breasts are a little bit more balanced? And that's kind of where I'm at now, is I look extremely pear-shaped and I want my upper to be a lot more fuller than what it is at this current stage. So just to reiterate, it's not required to get implants to compete in bodybuilding, to compete in any sport, beauty pageants. A lot of women do have implants, but it's not required. So you need to figure out what's best for you. At the end of the day, your health should come first and your happiness should come first. And if you are just trying to make it a quick fix that you're unhappy or dissatisfied with your look, you're probably not going to be happy with it in the long run. I love my boobs. Like, I love implants because it makes me feel like a whole woman. I felt like something was missing for a long time. And I've actually had some of my friends tell me that since getting implants, I carry myself differently. I have a lot more confidence, and I don't really notice it, but that's what they tell me. So, lo and behold, the people closest to you in your life usually know you the best. But, wanted to discuss loving yourself and considering all of your options. Breast implant augmentation is a major surgery. So when they go in, my first surgery was actually under the muscle, and you can kind of see, I shaved, so there's marks, but I have incisions here. This one you can see a little bit better here, which they did heal. But depending on your surgeon, you want to ask those questions. Where's the incision going to be? How are they going to insert the implant? My next surgery, it's going to be under the crease. And so what they're actually going to do is take out the current implant, clean out the pocket, or it's called a capsule. They're going to clean it out, and then they're going to put new implants in a new pocket. And that's what I've chosen to do. And I'm going to talk about that in my next video. So essentially, I went under the muscle for my first surgery because everybody was like, oh, go under the muscle. It looks more natural, especially when you cut down, your competition lean, blah, blah, blah. It's safer for you when you're lifting. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, under the muscle is actually in between the muscle. They will split the pectoral muscle and they put it in between parts of it. So the implant is actually, it sits in between part of the muscle. And that's what gives it more of that natural look. If you were going subglandular or over the muscle, you're still below the glands, so it's not going to affect for breastfeeding, but it is on top of that pectoral major muscle, so it's not going to get affected when you do chest movements. That's one of the biggest reasons why I've had issues, is that doing figure, or now I'm looking at wellness, you train the chest and the upper body a lot, it can affect the muscle shape. And like even flexing right here, I got striations, right? Well, if I go to do dips or if I go to do chest flies, you can already see here the separation of the implant, and they like rise up. It doesn't look natural. I don't like the look. I don't like the way it feels. It's actually really uncomfortable for me. And for the past 9 months, this implant is the one with the contracture. So essentially what that means is when it's settling in the pocket itself, it like tightens up and it can shrink a little bit. So my implants aren't even right now. And this implant specifically has been giving me issues for the past 9 months when training chest and shoulders, and I do stretch, but it's causing severe pain. At one point I was having a systemic pain shooting down my armpit all along the side of the breast, and it was miserable, and I would have to stop training, and I was getting depressed about it, and finally decided to go see a doctor, and he did diagnose me with a capsular contracture. And because I had warranty through the implant company, I'm able to get this surgery, and they're going to pay for about 90% of it, which is awesome. So I highly recommend getting warranty, lasts 10 years, totally worth it. These implants are also silicone. So these are the gummy bear silicone implants. I have 300 cc's, and they're under the muscle, and they're also high profile. So these are all terms that, as you do your research and learning more about the implants and breast surgery, that's something you can discuss with your doctors. I recommend consulting with various ones, learning which ones like certain procedures, what type of implants they like, how well known they are in the industry, and they're registered. Make sure they're registered. Don't go to somebody who's not board certified. And yeah, just figuring out what options are best for you. The difference between a silicone versus a saline implant is not a whole lot. The biggest reason I'm switching from the silicone to the saline is with the worry of a rupture. The silicone, obviously it's made of chemicals. So if you think about in your body, if it's going to have a toxic leak and rupture, I don't want to have the risk of chemicals in my body. There's also a lot of talk with autoimmune diseases and breast implant illness, which I had researched quite a bit because I was having symptoms, and as you guys know, I realized it was a food allergy, food sensitivity, and I've done an elimination diet. I have a little bit of a breakout from some avocado that I can't eat. So, lo and behold, don't eat the foods you're not supposed to eat for your body. But, you know, I digress. So picking out good surgeons, doing your research. My first surgeon was Dr. Quinn in Kansas City, Missouri, because I was living in Nebraska at the time. The doctor I'm going to be doing this surgery with is Dr. Colgrove here in Atlanta, actually in the Vining Surgery Center. So he came with high recommendation from one of my close female friends. She just had her implants changed from under to over, and that's why I wanted to go to him. Costs can range anywhere from $4,000 on up, $7,000. My first one was about $6,000. This one, if I wasn't getting insurance, it would be about $5,000. But I'm only having to pay, I think, $1,500, $1,200. So it goes to show, like, if something happens, your warranty is worth it. Just like life insurance, car insurance, anything. Do you really want to risk it, especially if it's in your body? No. So I highly recommend that. I will say that the recovery process, my first time, it took me about 8 weeks to be able to train upper body. And I actually think I started training too early. I was really impatient. This surgery, it should be a little bit shorter, but we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. I also suffered from some depression about 1 month to 2 months after the surgery, because when the implants are first put in, your skin's gonna be swollen and super tight. It gets shiny, and they look very, very fake. Like, they aren't how they're not going to look afterwards. So where they sit right now, they felt like they were up here when I had them done because it was so swollen. The breast tissue was stretched out. I was trying to get used to it. And I was really depressed because I was like, this is not what I want to look like. But I was able to overcome it. And like, they didn't feel like part of me, but now they feel like part of me. And I can't really imagine myself without implants. So I'm excited to share more about it with you guys. Ask any questions you might have, specifically if you are a female athlete or your significant other or a female friend of yours is considering getting implants. Really dig into it and think about it more about your long-term goals. Implants can last anywhere from 5 years to 25 years and even further. It just depends on how well you take care of your body. The implants itself are getting made even better, FDA approved. I mean, you have to pick and choose what you want to do and go from there. So please ask any questions you might have, and we'd be gladly willing to share it with you guys.